Diez, everybody. Make some noise for Rick. The most recent golden ticket winner in the show's history. Fresh off of winning it 3 weeks ago. He's done a spot every week since then. I must warn you, he's a special, special creature. The guy is like if I had no confidence. It's almost like he's sick. It's almost like he doesn't want to be here at all. He has a very defined, self-deprecating style. Make some noise for him. I love him. It's another new minute by the great Ric Diez, everybody. We have a golden ticket winner that is ready to do a new minute for us, everybody. This guy has he started, 4 weeks ago and has killed every week. He has a very defined style that is different than everybody else. Not the most confident guy. He literally seems like he doesn't want to be here, like he's afraid to do stand-up comedy, but his execution is incredible. Make some noise for one of our new favorites, Ric Diez, everybody. Make some noise for Ric Diez, everybody. Ric Diez.
Oh wow, a statue of me.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome. We are here for another episode of Canadian Talk. We have a big one today. For episode 69, we thought we'd bring in basically the biggest up-and-coming comedian in the world right now.
I wouldn't go that far, but thank you.
You're welcome. Don't ask me, but somehow we got him to come on the show. So just quickly before we start, and his name is Ric Diez, by the way, Ricdiez. You can find him on Instagram at SadmanRick. And some of your up-and-coming shows are Saturday the 4th. And just help me with some of these names, of course, because I don't know a lot of these clubs.
Go ahead.
The BXL Co-op.
And the BXL is for Brussels. It's abbreviation for Brussels. Yeah, I'll be at the Co-op, and I'll be finishing the show there or close to ending the show because I have another show prior outside of Brussels.
And then on Sunday the 5th, you'll be at in Brussels. You'll be at the Petit Kings. On the 7th,
Petit Kings,
in Brussels on the 7th, you'll be at the André de Freitas.
André de Freitas, I'll be opening for him. He's a great Portuguese comedian.
Fantastic.
He's been touring all over the place. He was at the Australian Fringe this year, if I understand correctly, and he's been just murdering all over the world.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And
on 7th, the one I would like to point out is 17th and 18th November in Rotterdam at the Club Haug.
Okay.
If you're in the Netherlands, they have the Shtick Festival happening on 17th and 18th November, and I'm going to be doing 3 shows there. So
perfect.
Come around.
Okay. So today we have Ric Diez. You can, of course, see him. He is a golden ticket winner on Kill Tony, which is no easy thing to do. You did 5 sets on Kill Tony from episode 628 to 632 or something like that. You got to perform on stage with people like Shane Gillis, obviously Tony Hinchcliffe. You roasted Sean O'Malley, the champion of MMA in the world right now. You basically called his hair. You said, "Oh, at least I'm not insecure about my hair," but that was pretty freaking funny. You have been on podcasts such as the Pocket Stories with Felix. You've been on the Dynamite podcast, the Kindred Kickoff podcast, and the Dynamite, and that's all funny Austin podcast, right?
Yeah. Well, I did a few local podcasts before I left. I was on Joke World as well.
Fantastic. All right, so that's it. Welcome to the show. I want to thank you so much for coming on. I really just
pleasure.
It might be a pleasure for you, but it's more of a pleasure for me. And guys like you, it's like I'm watching you on a rocket ship and I'm down here on Earth and you're blasting off into somewhere else, like with what you've accomplished on Kill Tony. It's unlike, I've been watching Kill Tony since it began, Joe Rogan since it began, 13 years ago. I've seen every episode And I personally have never seen a comedian do as well as you did on there. And I believe that you, if you, not no ifs, that you are already there. Like you're going to be one of the next big comedians. I think your style is incredible, kind of a self-deprecating style. And sorry, if you don't mind, I'll just talk your ears off here at the beginning just for a little bit, just to set the stage for the
No
listeners.
problem.
You seem like you're a gentle person, a nice person, and then you go out there and you can roast with the best of them. You've said yourself that you believe that you're immune to roasting because that is sort of the persona that you do on stage, right? And I had this one last thing. Just in honor of William Montgomery, I wanted to do
Yes,
one
sir.
of his jokes. I've got a fortune cookie here real quick. And before we start, I just wanted to open that and see what it says. Let's see here. Hans Kim is going to get his ass kicked on December 31st. What the heck? That's strange. That's strange that a Vietnamese restaurant in Saskatchewan would know that, right?
Yeah, I didn't know Vietnamese restaurants did fortune cookies as well. But
they're getting information.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's going to happen or not. All I know is I'm going to work hard for that.
Yeah, that's going to be a great show. Hey, that'll be an arena show. That's on New Year's Eve, and that'll be in Texas, right?
Yes, it will be in Austin, Texas at the HEB Center.
Nice. Are you excited for that?
I'm very excited for that. Yeah.
Are you nervous?
I'm very excited to do an arena. I've never done an arena. I'm very excited to be on that big of a show. And I'm just trying to, I'll try to do a good minute. That's about it. Win or lose, I need to do a good minute.
For sure. I've got a question for you. Are the glasses like a part of your persona, or why not get LASIK?
Because I went to an ophthalmologist several years ago, and one of the best ophthalmologists in Belgium, to talk about LASIK. Mm-hmm. And he told me at the end of the conversation, he was like, "If you were my son, I would tell you not to do it."
Fair enough. So you have one of
those. I have a problem in my right eye. So like, if they screwed up my left eye, I'd be done. Gotcha. Even if it's, he told me like there's a less than 1% chance of any problem happening, but if it happens, it'll be 100% for you. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wanted to touch on a few of those things, just the major things with Kill Tony before we got going. But like, I have a few questions for you right off the hop.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, to do with podcast versus stand-up, right? Because technically right now you are doing something that's different than stand-up. Like, I understand that Kill Tony's kind of gotten grandfathered in as a podcast because Tony knew Rogan, and it grew from there. So he kind of gets to call it a podcast because he has his little interview after the stand-up. But ultimately, this is something different. So I'm curious what your take is on like the intersection of the two areas, because I know for some of your writing process, I've heard you say that you like to do a co-writing process, which is very similar to what a lot of other great comedians do, like Shane Gillis does it. That's what he uses his podcast for that. And I'm curious if you are sort of pursuing a similar thing, or what your take was on podcasts versus comedy, how they're related, how they're different, which one is,
I mean, in terms of my comedy, I don't know if I understood the question correctly, but I'll try to answer from what I understood. I'm strictly writing one-liners. My target is to write one-liners all of the time. That's my act, and that's what I'm going after.
Ric Diez. Oh my goodness gracious, here he is, everybody. Things just picked up. One more time for Ric, everybody.
All right. Well, okay. I'm here to bring the energy up. Oh, wow. A statue of me. I look like Spider-Man got bit by a normal spider. I went to the cinema last weekend, and I forgot to put my phone in silent mode, and nothing happened. Did you guys know that when cats know they're gonna die, they look for a very quiet and isolated place to die, away from the other cats? Yeah, they come to my place.
Time ever on the show. The first time the Protect Our Parks boys get to see him. Make some noise for Ric Diez, everybody. Ric Diez.
Ric Diez, 213, 219.
All right. Okay. I took the bus the other day, and it was full. So I sat on a priority seat, and nobody said anything. Yeah, that's it. I took an online personality test. I failed. Yeah. I look like Rick and Morty. Yeah. When I was a kid, I had an imaginary friend. I called him Dad. Yeah. I never asked for consent. I never asked for consent. I beg for consent. Yeah. This one time after a show, a lady came up to me and she got really close to me and she whispered right in my ear, she whispered, "I want to dominate you." And I was like, "Lady, it's gonna happen organically?" My safe word is yes. Thank you very much.
Ric Diez. This is your guys' first time, Dr. Phil and Sam Talent, your first time seeing the newest golden ticket winner. He's only in town for a little bit. He's got to get back to Brussels in a couple weeks. This is Ric Diez, everybody. Make some noise for Ric.
Oh, you're already laughing. I haven't said anything yet. That hurts my soul. I've recently started seeing someone. She hasn't noticed yet. Yeah. Every time I hear a child cry, I run as far away as possible. I learned that from my father. I met this girl and she told me she was open-minded. And I changed her mind. Yeah, I never take dick pics unless I see a really nice one. Fuck yeah, Dr. Phil. I called the suicide hotline, and a very nice guy called Mark picked up the phone, and he really listened to me. He really listened to me. I felt so listened to for the first time in my life, and at the end of our conversation, I had to convince him not to kill himself.
Amazing. Ric Diez, on brand. Greatness. Your next comedian is the most recent golden ticket winner in the show's history. Fresh off of winning it 3 weeks ago. He's done a spot every week since then. I must warn you, he's a special, special creature. The guy is like if I had no confidence. It's almost like he's sick. It's almost like he doesn't want to be here at all. He has a very defined, self-deprecating style. Make some noise for him. I love him. It's another new minute by the great Ric Diez, everybody.
All right. Okay. I've been trying to get rid of my toxic masculinity. I really miss COVID. I miss COVID. During COVID, people were staying 6 feet away from me, which was closer than before. Yeah. I wouldn't hurt a fly if I tried. I tried. Yeah. I don't. Does anybody here have a sexual bucket list? I can help. I don't have a sexual bucket list. I have a sexual bucket. And it's full of tears from Hans Kim. Thank you very much. I've been Sad Man Rick.
Ric Diez. We have a golden ticket winner that is ready to do a new minute for us, everybody. This guy has he started, 4 weeks ago and has killed every week. He has a very defined style that is different than everybody else. Not the most confident guy. He literally seems like he doesn't want to be here, like he's afraid to do stand-up comedy, but his execution is incredible. Make some noise for one of our new favorites, Ric Diez, everybody.
All right. Okay. This chick told me I have a big dick energy. Just the energy, though. Yeah. Oh my God. My love language is nope. Every time I make love, I prefer to turn the lights off. This way I can pretend that I'm with someone. Yeah. I have an embarrassing sex story. Well, she has an embarrassing sex story. I had sex. Yeah. When my ex left me, she told me, I know who you are. I know who you really are. And then she left me without telling me who I was. I'll wrap it up there.
Ric Diez.
Now I'm working on a few bits that may be longer for down the line, but the style I want to pursue is one-liners. So when I'm saying I'm co-writing, what I'm saying is I'm working on my ideas, I'm writing them, and if my friends have time, I'll meet with a couple of them, and we'll go over each of the bits that we're working on, and I'll help them with what they're doing, and they'll try to help me with what I'm working on, and that's about it. I'm not live talking on a podcast and then throwing subjects out and then seeing if out of that I'm gonna end up with a bit.
Yeah.
But if I did do a podcast and I had a good idea come up that could potentially sound like a joke to me, I'm gonna write it down for later to work it on and refine it, of course.
I find that happens more than you would even imagine. It happens constantly.
It does happen constantly, but it's not that much part of my process. I mean, it is. It has happened to me to have conversations, and out of that, I end up with a joke. But for the most part, I'm just actively writing. I'm gonna try to write jokes now.
Yeah, gotcha. I was gonna mention. I forgot to mention this before we started, but just so you know, I'll clip this section out right here. Also,
Sure.
Anything you say on this, like, you have full control. By the way, feel free to say whatever you want, and if you're like, oh, I don't like that. Fully your control, all of it can be taken out, no questions asked. Okay, so I just wanted to say that.
If I pull my dick out, please keep it in.
Oh,
that's on you, buddy. That's absolutely on you.
Jesus Christ! I did not expect that. Okay. I don't usually sit here in my studio, so I wasn't expecting that piece of wood behind me.
Dude, that sounds extremely painful. Did you hit the corner?
No, it actually wasn't painful at all. I hit the corner,
okay.
But I barely felt it.
It's Canadian head, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I guess so. Right? Apparently, I was just watching Joe List's set from last night.
Yeah.
And apparently, he thinks Canadians are pretty ugly. So,
yeah. If Joe List says that, he knows.
Then it's
what
true.
He's talking about,
right? He's the king. He's Louis C.K.'s confidant, or whatever we're supposed to call him nowadays.
I love Joe List. I love Joe List. One of the highlights for me on Kill Tony was to be able to meet Joe List on my last episode.
Awesome. Yeah, I like him a lot.
He was,
His film that he made with Louis, 4th of July, I thought it was just great.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's an amazing film. Hey, it was funny though. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he really doesn't like Canadians. I sent him a message one day. I said, hey, great movie. I never knew you could be a better comedic actor than comedian. Because I think he's just an amazing comedic actor. But I didn't mean it as an insult to his comedy, but I think he took it that way. But
he probably took it that way. He's been working on comedy for 20 years.
Exactly. That's my bad again. Yeah. So who are some of your inspirations in comedy?
It's funny. I was thinking a little bit about that today. I think one of my inspirations is that's not obvious is 80s manga.
Okay.
There were a lot of
That's
manga in the 80s where characters shifted in size and mood.
Okay.
And
Manga.
people are shitting on me, and some
Correct me.
people are shitting on me online. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
That is anime.
Yeah, anime. Yeah, manga is the paper version. Anime is the animated version.
Got you.
I'll say manga just because I know
Okay.
I'm mispronouncing it for saying the wrong word
I don't know
for all
what
my
I'm
fellow nerds out there.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting. That's the one part of the
No
problems with
problem.
the video podcast. Honestly, I've never heard of manga before, but I feel like if I
Yeah.
search my memory for what I thought it meant like porn. I thought it was like anime porn.
No. That's hentai.
Hentai. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's the animated porn, but that's
Yeah.
not what I'm referring to at all.
Yeah.
No, like they had a lot of characters that would have like they would be comedic, but then they will change their whole demeanor depending on context. And to me, I feel like I've grown up with that. It's so embedded in who I am that people give me criticism, some people, for switching personalities during my sets on Kill Tony, but it's like it is part of the act.
Yeah.
It is part of I'm this person now and I'm this person. It's all part of the same person. You know? In terms of comedic inspirations, I mean, just name all of the greats, and I guess I like them all. There's no, there's comedians
like,
I've read that have resonated more than others, but that's it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I know that, and based on what you've said and based on what I've seen, you're emulating guys like Mitch Hedberg. You're not emulating him, but you're similar to Mark Normand. And one thing that I had heard you said in the past is you are a large fan of Gerard Carmichael, right?
He's amazing.
Huge fan, yeah. I had actually never heard of him.
You've been digging. I don't even know where I wrote that.
That was on you said that on Pocket Stories with.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, though, I was going to say I checked it out last night because I saw you say that. And I couldn't believe the production quality and his style. It truly is. It's the opposite of yours. It's more similar to mine, where I literally just talk and then hopefully eventually I land on a laugh.
His last special was produced or directed by Bo Burnham.
Oh, exactly. That's it's
they're
funny.
Working together. Yeah. And,
that's
I think they're doing amazing. They're doing something amazing. They're pushing the boundaries of stand-up, and I find that super interesting.
Absolutely. Me too. A couple comments I had on it was, it's funny. It leads into my next question. I was going to ask you about Bo Burnham because I know you are a little bit critical of him in his use of so many. I would say so, just from what I've heard, but in his use of props, you've critiqued that, and that you believe maybe his act is more well suited for video than live.
I wouldn't say criticize. That'd be a word that I wouldn't want clip that I'm saying. Gotcha. I'm critical of Bo Burnham. I love what he does. I love what he does. What I want. I actually am a fan of Bo Burnham. Gotcha. Huge fan. But and I'm not. It's maybe it's a misinterpretation. Maybe I couldn't express my thoughts correctly. But I felt like some of his last specials are geared more to be. They wouldn't work on stage. They only work on
agree.
Video. And that's his choice,
Yes. I agree. And when you said that, I was like, oh, finally somebody saying that, because that's what I had always thought as well.
But I am consuming him through video, so I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
For sure.
But I wouldn't know how to translate that to a stage format. That's all.
All right. Well, thanks for setting me straight on that. I was curious as well. You started your stand-up career. You were born in Spain, so you're basically like a modern-day Spanish conquistador coming over. You were bored with the South Americas, so now you want to take over the North Americas, right? And you're doing it.
I'm not a
conquistador
at all, but yeah.
No, no. And you grew up in Belgium.
I don't plan on committing a genocide or
I mean just a genocide in comedy,
or enforcing a religion on anyone, or
fair enough.
Yeah.
So
I just plan on
So you started your stand-up career in Thailand. I'm curious.
Yes.
What made you do that? Like, if you don't mind giving me a bit of a story behind why you chose there or what was happening.
No. I was living in Thailand. I was living in Asia and Southeast Asia since 2011. I lived in several countries for work, just for my daily work.
Okay.
And I was in Thailand for 5 years. And I've been loving stand-up since I'm a kid. So it's not like, it just happened that I was in Thailand and I wanted to go see stand-up. and there was a comedy club about 2 subway equivalent stops from where I lived. And I went on the website to buy tickets, and they just said comedy workshop this weekend. And I wanted to get out. So I thought, well, maybe I'll meet some people, make new friends, do something interesting. And I just went to the workshop. And 1 week later, I was doing mics. Yeah, that's it.
Nice, nice. It must have been
Yeah.
because, me as well as a lifelong fan of stand-up. And I'm similar to you in that as I started my life, by the way, I don't know your age. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
So that's a mystery that will
Mystery.
remain unsolved.
Okay, cool. I was curious. Because I worked for a lot of my early life, like my 20s, and then stand-up has been sort of a release from that. And I don't know, do you consider yourself a diplomat or is that what you were called or?
Well, not now.
No.
I've had
Or were.
diplomatic status in the countries that I've worked in, but I've never had a diplomatic passport.
Got you. Okay.
Yes.
So you're like a diplomat, and that's like a very stuffy job, just like me. I'm a engineer, and man, that was stuffy.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't
literally
Sorry, go ahead.
doing contracts all day long, Excel sheets all day long, templates all day long.
Me
That's
too.
it.
Me too.
Yeah.
And for me, I had to manage a bunch of like adult absolute idiots, like because I worked in the construction industry, so it was just a bunch of really tough. I shouldn't call them idiots, but just essentially tough people.
No, they're not idiots at all. But
yeah, tough people to manage. Tough people to manage.
Oh yeah.
And so comedy was a nice change of pace for me on that. So you were living in Thailand, and you just decided to switch things up, hey?
I didn't really switch it up. I kept my job.
Kept your job, and we're like,
held my job until its natural that position until its natural end, and got a new position in Brussels, and moved back to Belgium, and just kept doing comedy here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Why Brussels for your job again? Right, you were just kind of following your job. What's it like to live in Brussels? Like, what's it like there? Because I know it's a strange country. It's sandwiched. It's it's beside Germany. It's sort of a tense area for the most recent history, of human beings.
I mean, people think of Belgium as this stereotypical joke country without a real identity. But at the end of the day, it is a tiny country that's multicultural, multilingual. Because of their how they acted during the Second World War.
Yeah, exactly. I was actually going to say
they managed to preserve a lot of the architecture and preserve a lot of the infrastructure. So in a way, it wasn't long term. It wasn't a bad decision. I mean, for a lot of people that died and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, but it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. It's still it's pretty densely populated. Brussels itself is now about 2 million people, including all the suburbs. It's got nice green areas. I mean, not like Canada, of course. Like we can't compare to that. But like I live by a forest. Like you can just see the trees from my window. I get really clean air.
Nice.
It's really pretty. It rains a lot, and the weather is kind of gray for most of the year. But besides that, it's just really pleasant. People are chill and welcoming. It's not like hardcore and being like, "Who are you?" Like people are just pretty nice overall. That's what everybody that comes to Belgium says.
Okay, yeah, because I was very curious. Like, I'll tell you an anecdote that I thought of that I originally thought was funny, but then I found out it was inaccurate. But because I originally thought you were Belgian, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah, I could have been."
Exactly, because to do with your personality and stuff, I was like, it was interesting. And then I started thinking of Belgium because I was like, how does such a small country survive when you have what happened with the German expansion and all that? And I was like, the people who are there must just be real, like you, real tough people. Where like
I don't know if they're tough. I wouldn't say they're tough, but they are crafty and devious.
Okay, diabolical.
I'd say that. And I say that as a compliment in this case, but I don't consider them tough one bit.
Yeah.
But I do consider them smart, though.
Cool.
They're smart people.
Yeah,
definitely. Belgium has a huge culture of comic strips, of comic books, and of humor for decades. So there's a lot of humor in Belgium. Not stand-up, but definitely it's a country that has where a lot of humorous content has been created.
And do they speak English?
Many good writers here. No, I mean, people do speak English if they've learned it, but for the most part, they will either speak Dutch or French.
Dutch or French, gotcha.
There's a third official language technically, but it's a very small pocket of population that speaks German.
Cool. Did you go to university at all? Did you take any formal
Yeah.
education? What did you take, if you don't
Yeah,
mind me
yeah, yeah.
asking?
I studied economics, and then I had a master's in environmental management.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
are you big on global warming?
I mean, I worked on global warming issues.
Oh
I
shit.
don't know what being big on it is. Like, do I acknowledge the reality of the science? Yes.
Yeah.
That's I don't know if that's being big on it.
Yeah, but like I guess big. But what I mean by asking you if you're big on it as a political issue, do you believe that it's something that, this is aside from comedy, if you don't mind.
Sure, no problem.
Do you believe that the environmental issue is something that needs to be tackled very quickly, and we need to be on top of things, taxation, or do you believe it's something that is best dealt with in sort of a reactionary way, where we test the limits, we see what happens, and then we do. Yeah, I understand what the science says. They say we're already past it.
No,
But do you
we
know
are
what's strange?
already late.
We're already
We are
late.
already
Exactly.
late. We
Yeah.
are already in a reactionary mode right now.
Does it bother you that a lot of the world is sort of anti-nuclear?
Why would it?
Because nuclear power is so clean, and many people, like as far as my understanding is, a lot of the leading people in the technology side of the solutions for this believe that if we just switched over to nuclear everywhere, problem severely delayed, like, which is a good.
Oh yeah, I mean, if we could have nuclear energy without having nuclear weapons, it's the cleanest form of energy. But it does come at a huge risk of accidents. So like, there's potential trade-off is pretty bad in terms of if it's properly used, it's incredibly clean.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not against nuclear energy.
Cool. All right. So where do you like to get your info from? Like, let's say you were to take in some data on a day-to-day basis. Do you watch any like information shows, news shows, anything like that?
Nope. I stopped watching the news about 2 years ago.
Really? And how has that been?
Well, I mean, I realized that a lot of the news I was consuming was being clickbaity, and it was triggering my anxiety a lot. And at that time, I was going to therapy, and I realized that I could just stop watching the news, and if there's anything that's really significant, people talk about it, so I'll hear about it, and then I can just go read about that thing, instead of having to consume 30 minutes to an hour of news of a bunch of things that don't really concern me directly, but are just digging into all of my insecurities to make me feel anxious and bad about myself.
Yeah.
So that's why I just stopped watching the news.
Yeah. The news is so good at that.
But I do read the things I need to read for my work. But it's been provided to me. I don't need to volunteer for clickbait.
Yeah, that's smart. I think that's a good thing to live by. Preserve your mindset.
I don't know. It's working for me.
Yeah, definitely.
If some people can read the news without getting anxious, good for them.
Good for them. Yeah, no doubt. Okay, I got two sort of questions for you here. Just promise you won't get upset with me. I'm not in any way trying to attack comedy as a whole. I'm just curious on your take on it. Do you believe that, like, the modern view of the comedian, it's very positive right now. People believe that comedians are essentially the philosophers of the new age, the secular preachers of the new age. Do you believe that that's true, or do you believe that that's a little bit trumped up?
I believe that there are comedians who are incredibly good writers, who write very remarkable and well put out thoughts in a form that's comedic, but just good ideas are expressed to people, and maybe it helps them think. Some of them are philosophers, and a bunch of them are idiots. And if you only knew who they are behind the scenes, you would never listen to a word they say.
So true.
Yep. Yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
It's the same way. You choose how you consume your information.
Exactly.
I don't think you should. I think it would be, I wouldn't say stupid, but if your only source of information is comedians, you are gonna run into problems.
Probably. Yeah, definitely. Right. Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad that one didn't upset you. So do you have any you don't take in the news, so you wouldn't have like a favorite academic influencer, hey? Like, you don't like Jordan Peterson or Sam Harris or any of these types of
I know
guys?
who they are. Yeah,
Okay.
I know who they are.
Do you have
Yeah.
any favorites? I'm sure they would like to hear it.
Joe List.
Joe List. Okay, got you.
Joe List.
One
I'm a
question.
Tuesday. That's one of the few podcasts I still listen to.
That's a great
be honest,
podcast.
really, like,
Definitely.
yeah.
That's on my list. I listen to it every week as well.
Yeah. And he's got his other podcasts on psychology, Full Metal Jacket, I think.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that one. I only just know his other one with Tuesdays with Stories. That's with Mark Normand. Yeah. He doesn't have his own solo pod, hey?
Not that I know.
Okay, cool. I had a question for you that's a little bit specific. It is about your purported biggest bomb ever at the Gong Show in the Comedy Store in
I got
London.
the clip.
Oh, you were able to get the clip. Cool.
I got the clip like 2 weeks ago. Finally, I wrote them a one last chance email, and they said, I marked it as sent, so that I thought it was done.
Oh, oops, yeah.
Oops, no, but like 8 months later, and yeah, I'll release it. I'm waiting for the right moment. I don't know. I don't know when the right moment is. I'm just like I have it. I'm definitely gonna put it out.
Yeah, his moment. This is what he was doing.
Yeah.
All the best comedians that came through there, he was just stashing away their videos and hoping for you guys to die so that he would own them. That's all he was doing. Not shady. So I had not heard the joke that you said that when you went up there the second time, you got gonged immediately. I was curious what the joke was that you told.
Well, wait and see until I release the video.
Okay, you release the clip. Okay, so you're not going to say it here. All right.
It doesn't matter. I said it on Kill Tony, and it killed. And
good.
Every time I say it on stage, it murders.
Okay.
I was just facing a crowd of drunk assholes.
Yeah.
And what happened was the guy that went on before me. You can find him online at Rob Does Comedy, ROB Does Comedy.
Yep.
He murdered, right? So he went on, he murdered. I had met him a couple of months prior at some shows I did in London, at one show I did in London. And like, I knew he was funny, and I knew he was struggling. He was like, one of these comedians who's just struggling, just working hard and just struggling. And he went on before me and he just murdered, right? So I knew, okay, it's a gong show, which means the crowd is waiting to gong someone. If they let this one through, they're gonna gong me,
yeah,
no matter what, right? So it's like, I don't know what chance I have of hanging on. And I think for the crowd itself, it was hilarious to just gong me off.
Yeah,
but
I imagine
it's done.
Yeah,
like, it was just, it's done. But yeah, I'll release the clip because I think it's a fun clip to watch.
Cool.
With hindsight,
yeah.
At that moment, it was just trauma. But
yeah, just pure trauma until you succeed. Yeah. Definitely.
Which goes back to one of my fears on Kill Tony doing when they offered me all of these shows in a row. I was like, I can't bomb now.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
5 weeks straight.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think though that you still, like, near the end of your appearances on there, if I could just say something, you were kind of like, oh, if you'll have me back. I think you don't need to be asking that. I think, you should be more like, you're going to be on that show for as long as you want to be on that show, in my opinion.
That's how I also do it with jobs. It's mechanics I have. Like, I never know if people are going to actually hire me or not. And I also want to plant the seed that it could not happen from my end.
Absolutely.
But I think I was assertive enough on enough things on Kill Tony.
Yeah, I think assertive is a nice way to put it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm curious also, because you mentioned that one of your favorite comedians was you shared one that I like a lot, and that's Tim Dillon. And I was curious what you like so much about him, because actually I imagine because he's an opposite sort of comedian to you.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't consumed Tim Dillon's material avidly, and I can't say that I'm a Tim Dillon connoisseur. But what I do know is I saw him live at Mothership while I was there, and he went on 2 people before me at the crew show on the Little Boy Room. And just the way he attacked the stage and the way he just got something out of the audience that was 4 times louder than any other comedian before him or after him, I
Yeah.
was just mesmerized. I was just mesmerized. I was just like, that's you know, I
What
was
you
just like,
want.
this is where everybody is, and this is where Tim Dillon is right now. It was just not even a
Absolutely.
question.
Totally. It's amazing. Yeah. You know, I've seen him do his live shows and his stand up, and yeah, he carries a confidence that I think potentially only gay guys can have. Like,
I don't
you know,
know.
when you've been embarrassed to that extent, like when you've
Yeah.
experienced that level of embarrassment or whatever, when you come out to your friends and family, I believe that brings you to a whole nother level. Just like what they say about head trauma, you know, with Mitch Hedberg or whoever. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So, uh, my next question was going to be, I lost it here. What was I going to ask you? So what, Russell Hicks, where is he at now? Where are you at with that? Do you still want to open for him?
No, yeah, no. So far, he doesn't have his schedule set yet. We've been talking. I emceed for him a few months back in Brussels.
Okay. I remember what I was going to ask you. In terms
Yeah.
of like bringing yourself to the next level, you've said that you want to find out what things you can do to get there.
Yeah.
Like what Tim Dillon has done. You know, with podcasts, with doing live podcasts, with doing podcasts every week, so that you keep your voice tuned in. You know, have you at all? And you've said that you want to have potentially your own show. What are
Podcast. I wouldn't say show.
okay?
Yeah.
Got you. That's now podcast. Okay, cool.
Mm.
Do you have any ideas, or like, would you do a shtick, or would you keep a podcast pure? Would you have it just be conversation?
No, I would have a pure podcast. Yeah, conversational.
Long form?
I know. I have a friend I want to do it with. We're gonna do it. It's just been a bit. I've just been so busy, and he's been busy with other stuff. He's a comedian here, based out of Brussels as well.
Yeah. Oh, I can
And,
imagine you've been so busy. Like, I can't
Yeah,
even
yeah,
imagine. Yeah.
But my YouTube has been growing, so that's been good. Which means now I could. It's interesting now for me to put out long format videos.
Yeah. Because yeah,
Whereas before it wasn't. Yeah.
yeah. Like, before I let you go here, I had just a few finishing questions.
Yeah. Go for it.
Like
No rush.
you know, because I tried to look up a YouTube channel for you, and I couldn't find it necessarily. So I was actually curious what
My channel?
Yeah, your YouTube channel.
Sadman Ric. Everything is Sadman Ric.
Okay, because did you know, if you just type Ric Diez into the search bar in YouTube, it does not come up. So
Well, you typed it wrong, I guess.
oh, maybe okay,
description.
maybe it was my fault.
It's in the name.
I mean, you can check it later, but yeah, the algorithm seems to
Yeah.
be missing it. So thought
Well,
I'd let
people
you
are finding it though, because I'm
Good.
growing nicely.
Oh yeah, what did it?
My YouTube is growing now faster than my Instagram
Wow, that's amazing.
right now. It's bizarre, but yeah, it is growing faster in terms of subscribers.
Wow, amazing.
I have one short that's gone viral, which is the clip I posted of me roasting King Kongdom.
Yes, very very funny.
And that one is now at 5.6 million views for some reason, which for me is insane, an insane number. Yeah. For other people, it's small, it's peanuts, but for me, it's the biggest thing I've ever done. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, you're in the door. Yeah. You're in the door. Yeah, congratulations on the enormity of your success. It's pretty amazing.
It's not enormous yet. Like, you know, now there's already a new golden ticket winner.
Yeah, true. Heath Cordes. Yeah, Heath Cordes.
Heath Cordes,
he's going to come on the show as well. He is quite an interesting little act. You know, he in himself, he is a
little act. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love him. But yeah.
Yeah, everybody loves him. Hey, yeah.
Yeah. No, I got to meet him before. I got to see him perform and briefly meet him before while I was in Austin.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for his success.
Cool. I've got two little things written here that I had never seen you write a joke on, and I was curious. I was just going to ask you and throw them out there for you for the future. Do you know who DJ Qual is?
I should know.
Dizzy Gillespie.
Dizzy Gillespie, yes, I know.
Am I saying the right word? I think that's his name. Dizzy Gillespie something. No. He was in that movie, The New Guy.
Oh, I know, DJ Qualls.
Yeah.
He was in Euro Trip or whatever.
Okay, yeah, because I'd never seen you make any type of jokes involving him, and I was like, that would be right
You
on.
mean in terms of me looking like him?
Because you look exactly, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I've been told that since he came out on the scene. The thing is, I feel like he's not hyping as hard right now,
Yeah, he's fallen off a little bit. Yeah,
and so I don't think.
it's worth it.
I mean, if people want to roast me and use that reference, I think it'll be funny if they make it funny.
Yeah,
I just have nothing funny to say about him. I kind of like him,
yeah, for sure.
and
for
I
sure.
don't know what I would say. And
Yeah,
I don't want to just diss him for no reason.
Yeah, got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another funny line I thought of was, "You don't have a jawline, you have a jaw splotch."
Thank you, and fuck you, by the way.
Hey, I thought you were resilient to roasting.
Yeah, I thought you were resilient to insults.
I am too.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, go for it.
So you are a fan of mixed martial arts?
I'm a fan of watching them. Yeah, I'm completely incapable of performing them. Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, me too.
I did judo as a child. I did some judo as a child. But yeah, now I'm done with that.
Have you ever been in a fight?
I've been in a push around. I guess.
Push around.
I haven't been in a proper fight. Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
No, I haven't been in a fight. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, me too. Honestly, the only fights I've ever been in were on the ice. So I don't know if you can call it.
I think one of the most beautiful things that's happened to me since the Kill Tony thing was Sean O'Malley was a big thing for me, and then since then I get a easy. Israel Adesanya followed me on Instagram.
Wow.
And that's been, I was so happy. I was just so overwhelmed with emotion. It was just incredible. For me, personally, it was just oh my God.
Yeah, that's how happiness works. It is experienced personally.
Yeah.
What else? Feel free to brag. What else has happened?
I'm not bragging. It was just one of those moments where this guy is all about the hero story, and he understands what I'm doing. He understands the marketing, the promotion aspect, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he lived in China. I lived in China. So it's a few things that I really like. It touched me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right.
What are other things that what? Sorry.
I was going to say, shit, I lost it. So what made you decide to be so adamant about the one-liner style? I understand it's just what works for you. I get that. But do you think that you'll ever sort of be more like a Tom Segura or Bert Kreischer ever?
I mean, I will never reach those weights, but I don't think I'll ever be like them comedically.
Okay.
I think they're both really big and really funny in different ways. I feel like Tom Segura is slightly more of a technician than Bert Kreischer, even though Bert Kreischer is definitely underrated as a writer. But no, I like doing one-liners. I just enjoy it. When I started doing stand-up, every time I tried to do something longer, people were telling me that my one-liners were better. So I started to focus on it. And the more I focus on it, just the more I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm trying to do other things, but I have no expectations. I just want to write what's funny to me, and I'm not putting any limitations on me. I'll do one-liners for as long as I want to do them, and I'll do something else if I want to do something else.
Gotcha. So ever since the Kill Tony thing, what was a greater influx? The influx of DMs from girls or the influx of DMs from comedians?
No, neither. It was an influx of DMs from people telling me murder Hans Kim. No, for real. It was just come on, calm down.
Yeah,
for sure. It was it. Yeah, it was a bit bizarre. It was okay, it's a challenge. And,
yeah,
I want to beat him, but yeah.
Oh, I have no doubt. But yeah, you guys are both great comedians, you and Hans.
No, a lot of comedians wrote to me, and they were very happy about it. But it was a lot of random people were just contacting me and just saying how they all work in offices, and I'm like, well, they're like, you're living our dream, like you did it, like you're doing what we want to do,
Well, so you killed Tony. You killed Tony.
Yeah.
The only other
person, people have, and other people will. Yeah,
other people have. Do you know who Michael Malamud is? No, he is a comedian. He's the only one to ever do it on Kill Tony. This happened about 6 months ago, I would say. He went up
What did
on
he do?
stage and he didn't say a single word the whole time. And
Oh,
he,
I heard about him. I
and
didn't
he
hear.
got a
I've
standing
been told a
ovation.
legend. Yeah.
He's a legend. Yeah. Him and dude, are you aware of Casey Rocket?
Yeah. Him I met. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm hoping to get him on the show as well. Those are two of my favorites from Kill Tony as well. Well, I think
Well,
that is,
I hope Michael talks during your podcast. If he just
Yeah.
does faces, it's gonna be interesting.
yeah, that wouldn't be much of a podcast, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've really enjoyed having you on. I've really enjoyed getting to know
No problem.
you. It's been just a pleasure to talk to you. You're hilarious. You are going to be amazingly successful, and I wish you the
I'm
best.
gonna be whatever I am. We'll see if I'm successful or not. All I can do is work and wait and see and put my best foot forward.
Absolutely. And I wish you the best of luck in that. So, yeah, thanks for everything.
And, yeah. And if anybody actually watches your podcast, which I hope, please stop telling me to murder Hanskin.
Okay.
It's my intention to beat him.
Yeah.
It's my intention to work hard to beat him. But no need to put up, send me also racist messages, calling him Chinese or other words. There's no need for any of that. I definitely want to beat him. And I'm working hard on it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't.
the messages are probably going to keep coming because nobody listens to this.
Oh yeah. They will. I hope they do. You'll clip it out and I'll post it anyway. So I hope I bring you some listeners.
Awesome. Well, okay. Well, thank you very much. And that is Canadian
My
Talk,
pleasure.
episode 69 out. Thanks for listening, and any questions or concerns for the show, as well as voice recordings and voice messages that you'd like us to listen to, or advertisement inquiries, please forward those along to CanadianTalkWithStephan@gmail.com. Thanks. We also have a website, Stephanjackson.ca, where you can find a back catalog of all our episodes, and we're also on YouTube, where you can find the video versions.